Okay. Okay, guys. So we'll start from the third type of operators today. So which is called as arithmetic assignment operators. Okay. So in this, you already know to arithmetic. You know what are the assignment operators. So assignment operator is nothing but my equal to. Arithmetic operators are all these operators. Okay. So now what is this arithmetic assignment operator? Is a combination of these two. So I'm going to combine these two together. So first I say arithmetic assignment. So first will come the arithmetic operators followed by the assignment operator. So there should not be any gap in between. So please remember this plus and equals to should come together. You should not leave any space in between. Okay, so same way minus equals to, same way multiplication equals to, division equals to, flow division equals to, modulo equal to, exponent equal to. So all these are your arithmetic assignment operators. Okay, so remember these arithmetic assignment operators are also called as shorthand operators. So they are also known as shorthand operators. Now why did they give this name shorthand? Okay, let us take as example to understand this better. Suppose let me say in any for example let us take C. Since again you guys are a little bit familiar with C, I'll just do a small comparison with C language. In C language, say suppose I am declaring a variable like this. Okay, then I am saying A plus plus. So what is going to happen to the A value? How is the plus plus operator going to work? So plus plus operator, this operator we call this as increment operator. In C language, we call this as an increment operator. That is, whatever is the value of your variable. Okay, whatever is the current value of the variable. So, current value of the variable plus 1. That is what the increment operator is going to be doing. So, whatever is the current value of that variable, that value will be incremented by 1. But remember, always only by 1, never more than 1. So, plus plus means whatever is the value, increment by 1. Same thing, same thing. Say, suppose if I am saying int b is equal to 20, then I'm saying b minus minus. I'm saying b minus minus. So minus minus is what we call as our decrement operator. So we call this operator as decrement operator. So what does this decrement operator do? Whatever is the current value of the variable, okay, that value minus 1. That value minus 1. So in this case, what is going to happen? So in the first increment operator, my a value is 10. So when I say a plus plus, a will become 11. So in this scenario, b value is 20. So when I say b minus minus, b is going to become 19. So this is what the operators will be doing, increment and decrement operator. So we have these operators in C language. We have these operators in C++. We have the same operator in Java. We have this operator in C Sharp, which is a .NET programming language. So this operator is quite common in lot of programming languages. But here in Python, this operator is not there. So what are the things you should be knowing? So one difference is in Python. So in Python, we do not have plus plus and minus minus, sorry, plus plus and minus minus operators are not present or not present. So this is one of the key difference. So now what should I do if I want to increment a value? So how should I increment a value? So I'm saying a Python, I'm having a variable like this. So now I want to change the value. I want to increment the value of a by 11. So how I can do that? So one way I'm going to do is a is equal to a plus 1. So what do you mean by this? A is equal to means you are going to assign some value to a. So what is the value you are assigning? You are saying a plus 1. So what is the current value of a? 10 plus 1. So a is going to become 11. So this is how we will be doing it in Python. So we do not have the plus plus operator where we can directly say a plus plus. So instead of writing it like this, instead of writing it a is equal to a plus 1, I can write this in a shorter manner. I can write this in a shorter manner. How to do that? How to write it in a shorthand or a shorter manner is, I will say a plus is equal to 1. A plus is equal to 1. So what do you mean by that? This is same as writing a is equal to a plus 1. Both are going to give you the same output. Whether you are writing a plus is equal to 1 is also same. This is same as writing a is equal to a plus 1. So instead of writing, repeating the character again, repeating the variable again, I am going to write it in a shorter manner. So this is what my arithmetic assignment operators or my shorthand operators is going to be doing for us. So if I am saying a minus is equal to 20. So what do you mean by this? A is equal to a minus 20. So whatever is the current value of a, that value minus 20 is going to be the new value that is going to be assigned to the a variable. Same way if I am saying a multiplication equals to 100. So that means what? So same thing, a is equal to a into 100. So this I am writing it in a shorter manner using the arithmetic assignment operators. So this is the beauty of my arithmetic assignment operators. Right. So I'll just show you. I'll just run a small program also and show you. So there you go. I am giving the current a value as 10. Then I am saying print a plus is equal to 20. So I'm just incrementing the a value by 20. Then I'm saying print, okay, a minus equal to 5. So let us first run these two and see how it is going to be working for us. So, okay, sorry. I cannot give a direct assignment like this. I can just print the a value. So a plus is equal to 20. Okay, then I'm printing a and then I'm saying a minus is equal to 5. Then again I'm printing the a value. See guys, you can print the values but you cannot do any assignment operation inside the print function. So that is why it was throwing me an error. See now, first time the a value is coming as 30, second time a value is coming as 25. So what is happening here? So when I say a plus is equal to 20, what it means? A is equal to a plus 20. So what is the current value of a? Current value of a is 10. So 10 plus 20. So my a is going to become 30. That is the output I am getting. Okay, so now the a value is 30. Super. Now I am saying a is equal to a minus 5. So whatever is the a value, that value minus 5. So that means what is the current a value? That is the last value of a. A was 30. So a is equal to 30 minus 5. So that is going to give you the value as a is going to be 25. And that is the value you are getting printed here. So this is how your arithmetic assignment operators will be working. Right. So now, what other types? See, in Python, you have lot of operators. Beautifully, they have given so many different operators to make your program writing much easier. Okay, the next operator, what we are going to discuss is relational operators. So, relational operators. So, remember, relational operators are also called as comparison operators. So, we also call this as a comparison operators. So as the name suggests, comparison. So what are you going to do with the relational operators? I am going to make use of my relational operators to compare the value of compare the value of two or more variables. So what is the purpose of the relational operators? As the name suggests, it is used to compare the variable's value. I want to compare one value with another value. How to do it? For that, I will be making use of the relational operators. So what are the relational operators that is there? Same as what you used to find in other programming languages. Greater than, lesser than, greater than equal to, lesser than equal to, okay, then double equal to, and then not equal to. So these are all your relational operators that you have in Python also. Okay, as I said, this is same as what you see in other programming languages. So there has been no addition or no changes in that. Right. So let us try to understand how this is going to be working. So the first point with regards to the relational operators, what you should be knowing is the result. Whenever I'm going to do a comparison, okay, whenever I'm going to do a comparison using my relational operators, the result of that operation, okay, so the result of the operation is always going to be a Boolean value. So always going to be Boolean value. So what is a Boolean value? We know what is bool. Bool is a data type. So what kind of value Boolean takes? True or, so either it can be true or the other value is. So these are the only two possible values that we have with the Boolean. So always remember, whenever I'm going to make use of my comparison operators to compare the variable's value, the result of that operation is always going to be a Boolean value. Point number one. Okay. So point number two. Point number two. What you have to remember with regards to this is true has a numerical representation in Python. True is equivalent to the number 1. True has a numerical equivalent, that is true is always represented by the number 1 and false is always represented by the number 0. So true means 1, false means 0. So it has a number representation also. So along with writing true or false, we also have a number representation for it. Okay, now what is the other important point? So the other important point is in Python, okay, in Python, any number, okay, so any number, that number can be a positive number, okay, that number can be a positive number, or that number can be a negative number. Okay, it can be a positive number, it can be a negative number, it can be an integer, it can be a float, it can be a complex. So anything that is a number, okay, that is of a number, okay, any number that is not zero, okay, that is not zero, that means what, the value of the number should not be zero. Okay, any number which is not zero is always treated as true, is always considered as true. This is one very important point what you have to be remembering. So in Python, when you take any number, whether it is a positive number, negative number, integer number, floating number, whichever number if I'm talking about, so if that number's value, if that number is not zero, then that number is always considered as true only. Right. So what is the other point? What is the another point? So you should remember all these points when we are going to make use of our relational operators. Okay. And these points also will help you in analyzing our logical operators also. The same points are helpful for us when we are going to do programs based on logical operators. That is the next set of operators what we will be studying. Right. So what is the next point is any collection, okay, any collection that is, okay, empty, that is empty is considered as false. So this point is also a very important point, any collection. So now what do you mean by collection? Collection is nothing but a group of data. Okay, collection is nothing but a group of data. Under one single variable, I am going to store multiple datas. So for example, you know list. What is list? Under one single name, I am storing some n number of values. How is a string getting stored? I am saying s is equal to Python. So Python consists of so many characters and all that characters are stored inside that variable, yes. So all those types is what we call as a collection. So string, list, tuples, okay, sets, dictionary. So all these are what we call as a collection. So if the collection is empty, so remember this point also very carefully. If the collection is empty, then it is considered as false. Let us see. Okay, let us try to see how this is actually working. So I am going to say print of bool of. You know what is the bool function? Bool function is a typecasting function, right? Whatever value you are going to pass, it will say, it will convert that value into true or false. That is the thing of the bool function. So see here, I am giving number 1. I am giving the number 1. Okay, so let us see what it says. Then I am giving the number 0. Okay, what is the next thing I'm doing? I'm giving number 10. Okay, then I'm giving a negative value. I'm saying minus, say, triple one. Okay, now then I am going to give a floating point value. I am saying 10.25. Okay, next thing I'm saying minus 25.36. Right, then what is the next value I'm going to say is 0.0. Okay, then see the next variation. I'm going to say inside that I'm passing a string. I'm saying Java. Inside again I'm passing an empty string. I'm not giving any values at all. Okay, next I'm passing a list. So I'm saying 10, 20, 30. I'm passing a list. You know, square brackets are used to create a list. We already saw all those things in the data types. Now I'm creating an empty list. How do you create empty list? Open square bracket, close square bracket. That's all. So these are all different things I'm doing. So where am I picking all these things? Based on these points. What did I say? Number can be 1 is represented as true, 0 is represented as false. What is the next thing I said? Any number that is positive number or a negative number or a floating point number is always considered as true. So when the number is 0, whether it is an integer 0, whether it is a floating point 0, doesn't matter. It's always going to be false. Now, if the string is having some values, then it is true. If the string is empty, then it is false. If the list is having a value, it is true. If the list is empty, it is false. Same way, you're creating a set, you're creating a tuple. So if they are empty, it is going to tell you false. If it is having some values, then it is going to tell you as true. So these points, very, very careful, you have to remember. Now when you run this, see what happens. Look at all the examples. So 1, true. 0, false. 10, true. Minus 111, true. No doubt in that. Okay, now 10.25, true. Minus 25.36, true. 0.0, false. Java, true. Empty string, false. List with values, true. Empty list, false. So please remember this very carefully. Okay, so this will help you when you are doing the comparison between for your relational operators, and also the next set of operators what we will be learning is our logical operators. So for that also these things will be helping us. These points are very, very important for us. Okay, so now having knowing this, let us discuss about our Okay, so let us discuss about our relational operators. So what is a relational operators? I said used for comparison purpose. So how is the work going to do? I am saying 10 greater than 5. Obviously, this is true. So it is going to give me the result as true. So I am saying 10 lesser than 5. Is it less? No. So it is going to tell me false. Obviously. Then I am having another one. I am saying 10 equal to 5. Is 10 value and 5 value same? So please understand the basic mistake. Okay, the one mistake where we normally do, especially the beginners, is difference between single equal to and double equal to. So please remember very carefully, single equal to is an assignment operator. So purpose of that operator is to assign some values to the variable. So it is an assignment operator. It is used to What is the purpose? It is used to assign values. So assign value to a variable. Done. So when I talk about double equals to, whenever I talk about double equals to, please remember this is a comparison operator. It is a comparison operator. So what it is going to do? It is used to compare the values. Okay, it is used to compare the values that are stored within the variable, stored inside of the variable. So what it is going to do? It is going to go do the comparison, whether they are same or not. So what is this going to do? It is used to compare the values stored inside the variable. It is checking whether the value is same or not. So what it is going to do? Checking whether the whether they are same or not. What are they? Whether the values are same or not. So that is the purpose of my double equals to. So never make the mistake of doing it in a wrong way. Okay, so here the double equals to, what it is going to do? It is going to compare whether this number 10 and whether this number 5 are same or not. So not only numbers like this, you can also compare like this. So I'm saying A is equal to 10. Then I'm saying B is equal to 5. Then you can say print A equal to B. So you can either directly compare the numbers like this, or we can store the numbers inside a variable, and then also we can do the comparisons. Okay, then the last but not the least, what I'm going to say, print, okay, A not equal to. So when I execute the program, first thing, notice how my results are coming. The result of a operation is always a Boolean value. So that is what I told you. It's always going to be a Boolean value. So it is always going to be either true or false. So first one, 10 greater than 5. Yes, it is true. 10 lesser than 5. It is false. Okay, then 10 equal to 5. False. Both are not same. Both are different values. So A equal to B. That is also false. Now I am saying A value is not equal to B. That is true because both the values are not same. It is not equal. So it is giving you the result as true. So this is how my logical operators or my comparison operators is going to be working. Okay. Now, what is the next set of operators that you should be aware of? The fifth set of operators, what you should be knowing, is my logical operators. So that is my logical operators. So what are these logical operators? So remember, all my other operators, we use symbols. Okay, so these are some rules that you have to remember. Result of the operation for, okay, relational and logical. For both, it is always going to be a Boolean value. So whether we are doing a comparison operator or we are using logical operator, the result of the operation is always going to be a Boolean value. Right. So now coming to this point. So what is the point says? Logical operators, first thing what you have to remember is we do not use symbols. For other operators, what we did, we are using symbols, plus symbol, minus symbol. So like that, we are using some symbols. But when it comes to the logical operators, we are going to be using the words directly. So no symbol representation. This is another difference. In other languages, we use symbol representation. Here in Python, we don't use the symbol representation. Instead of that, we make use of the word itself. So logical operators, okay, do not have any symbols to represent, okay, symbols to represent it. So we do not have any symbols. So what are the logical operators that we have? And, okay, or, and not. So these are the three logical operators that we need to be studying. And, or, not. So how is this three operators going to be working? So before going into that, let us understand what is a logical operator. What is the role of a logical operator? Okay, so in English, and or and all are not normal English words, right? So where do we use the word and? Where do we use the word or? In normal English language, we call this as conjunctions. We call these words as conjunctions. So what is the purpose of that? It is used to join one or more sentences together. I have two separate sentences. I want to join that sentence into one single sentence. Then I will be making use of this word and or. Same logic is what we are going to apply in the programs also. I am having one or more expressions which I want to combine together to form one single expression. So remember, I am having multiple expressions. I want to join all the expressions together and form one single expression. So for that purpose only, I am going to make use of my logical operators. So now the next question comes. What do you mean by these expressions and what do I mean by combining the expressions? Okay, let us understand this with a very simple example. I am saying write a program to find the greatest of three numbers. This is the task I am giving you. So I am storing one number in A and I am storing one number in B and I am going to store the third number in C. Okay, and the C variable is going to have the third number. Let me say 3 is the number. Okay, just by seeing the numbers, I can say, okay, 10 is the greatest. But I want to do this in a programmatical manner. Okay, so for me to say A is the greatest, it has to come two rules. A should be greater than B and A should be greater than C. If both, this is my first condition. What is my first condition? A should be greater than B. What is my second condition? A should be greater than C. If both these conditions are satisfied, then I am going to say A is the greatest. If it is not satisfied, what I have to do? Again, I have to check for the B. I have to say B greater than A. And the second condition, what I have to check? I have to check whether B is greater than C. If both the conditions are satisfying, I will say B is the greatest. And so on. This is how I will write my logic. So here, this A greater than B, this is my first expression or my first condition. So A greater than C is my second condition or my second expression. So now I am going to make use of this logical operator and I am going to combine these both expressions together to form one single expression. So I am going to use the AND operator and I am going to form one single expression like this. So both the conditions will be checked, okay, both the results will be checked and then I will get the output as one single result. So normally when I say A greater than B will produce one separate result for me. A greater than B, I mean A greater than C will give a separate result for me. But what I say is I want both these expressions joined together and I want only one single output. I don't want two separate output. I want only one single output. So this is what you mean by combining the expressions to form one single expression. Okay, so now let us understand how these operators will be working. How these operators are going to be working for me. Okay, first let us take about the AND operator. So basically I said I can combine minimum for combining I need at least two expressions. I need two expressions. So let us say based on two expressions let us write a table. We call this table as a truth table. Okay, say this is expression 1, this is going to be expression 2 and this is going to be my result. Okay, so for AND, we are writing this table for AND. So that is the first operator what we are going to be analyzing. So if the first expression is true, okay, if the first expression is true and the second expression is also true, that is what the first condition result is true and the second condition result is also true means then the entire expression together will give me the result as true. So when I am combining with the AND operator, the entire expression result is going to be For any other combination, it is going to be false. That is the speciality of my AND operator. So if it is false, false, it is false. Okay, it is if it is true and the second expression is actually false, then also my result is going to be false. If my first expression is false, okay, but my second expression is true, then also my result is going to be false. So remember, whenever you're combining any expressions using the AND operator, all the expressions, that is, if I'm combining three conditions, then all the three conditions must be true. If all the three conditions are true only, my result will be true. Otherwise, the result is going to be false. Any other combination you are going to say, the result is going to be false only for us. So this is the what we call as the truth table for the AND operator. So this is going to be the truth table for the AND operator. So truth table for my AND operator. So now let us understand the OR operator. So how is the OR operator going to be working? So true means true. That everybody knows. If both the expressions are true, obviously the result is going to be true. False and false means false. That is also same. But here true and false means it is true. Even if any one expression, suppose if I am combining some 5 or 6 expressions, even out of that 5, even if any one expression is true also, the result is going to be true. That is how my OR operator will be working. So remember, AND operator, if both are true, it is true. OR operator, if both are false, it is false. Any other combination, it is going to say it as true. So this is the speciality of how my OR operator is going to be working. So that is going to give you the truth table of the OR operator. So it is a truth table for the OR operator. Now, what about the NOT? What is this NOT then? NOT operator is nothing but inverse. Okay, your NOT operator is what we call as inverse. What do you mean by inverse? Opposite. Opposite. So, NOT operator, see, you will evaluate based on one single expression only. NOT operator, you will apply only on one single expression. So, how is the NOT operator going to do? If the result is true, it will say false. If the result is false, then it is going to say opposite. Whatever it is going to give you the opposite of it. So that is how my NOT operator is going to be working. So that is why we call this as an inverse action. So whatever it is going to give me the opposite. Say for example, let us try to analyze a few examples of these programs. Okay, so first thing, let me take you about the NOT operator. So I am going to say print, okay, 10 equal to 10. So what will be the output of this? This is a comparison operator. I'm comparing whether this value and this value are same or not. So when I run this, obviously it is going to give me the value as true. Right? It is going to say, yes, it is true. Okay. Now let me apply the NOT operator on this. Let me apply the NOT operator on this. NOT. So this is my expression. So if I run only this expression, the result is going to come as true. But when I apply the NOT operator in front of the expression, see what is the result now. See what it says. 10 equal to 10. This is giving me the result as true. But the NOT operator which is there before that is inversing the result. So it is giving me the opposite of what it actually is. So that is the beauty, or that is how my NOT operator is going to be working for me. Right. Okay. Now, before going into the more examples of the and the or operator, let me quickly tell you about some important points regarding your relational operators and your logical operators. So there are more programs where we will be making use of these two categories together. So lot of places when we are writing the program logic, what we will be doing? We will be making use of the relational operators and the logical operators together. So we should know everything that is there regarding these two operators. So in that way, I'm just going to take you through few examples. So I am going to say print true plus true, true minus false, true into true, right? Next thing I'm saying true greater than true. Okay, let us say greater than or equal to true. Then I'm saying true less than false. So what is going to happen when I'm making use of these relational operators on a Boolean value? So we know that Boolean values, true and false or Boolean values. So then we know that one more important thing. When we are using your arithmetic operators or when we are using the relational operators on a Boolean value, first question is it accepted? Is this program going to work or is it going to throw me any errors? That is the first question what we have to understand. So first is it will work. Why it will work? Because of this point 2. The true and the false is having numerical number representation in Python. Hence, these things are not going to give me any errors. So when you are doing such operations, what is going to happen? It is going to convert that into numbers and the comparison or the arithmetic operators is going to be applied. So when I execute the program, see what happens. So true plus 2, that is true means 1. So 1 plus 1, it is giving me the result as true, 2. Then I'm saying true minus false. True is what? 1. False is what? 0. 1 minus 0. 1. So then I'm saying 1 into 1. Obviously 1. Then I'm saying 1 greater than or equal to 1. I'm saying greater than or equal to. Either it can be greater or it can be same. So hence it is going again as true. So see the difference here. When I was using the arithmetic operators, it was giving me a number value. So when I started using Yes, when I started using my relational operators, say automatically it is starting to give me Boolean value. So now I'm saying 1 less than 0. Obviously not. It is false. So this is how, let it be arithmetic operators or let it be relational operators. Okay, we can apply both on a Boolean values. That is again one important point. And the reason why I'm talking about all these things is in the next session, I am going to take you through some few technical interview questions which was asked by various MNC companies during their exams. So those questions I'm planning to discuss with you. Okay, there are around some 3 or 4 questions there, which is very important ones. And these questions are based on relational and logical operators. So that is why these things are very important for you to understand them first. Okay, so what we'll do, we will continue in the next session with the remaining of the operators.